You're about to hear something most men will never understand. Women don't fall for you when you chase them. They don't fall for you when you explain yourself or bend over backward to make them happy. And they certainly don't fall for you when you love them the hardest. No. She falls for you the day you do what no other man has ever done. The day you refuse what every other man accepts. The moment you detach where every other man clings. When you stay calm where every other man breaks. It's that one moment when you stop playing by her script that will burn you into her memory. That one moment flips the dynamic. It changes how she sees you. It makes her respect you. And once you do it, she'll never see you the same again. Refusing what every other man accepts. Here's the truth. Most men, especially when they like a woman, will accept anything. They accept flaky behavior. They accept the "I'm too busy" texts. They tolerate playful disrespect disguised as jokes. They stay when she emotionally tests them over and over again. Why? Because they believe, if I just go along with this, she'll like me more. But here's the cold reality. She doesn't respect the man who swallows his discomfort just to stay close to her. She's seen that man before. She's used him before. And most importantly, she's forgotten him before. What makes you different? It's that you refuse. Refusing doesn't mean being angry. It doesn't mean creating drama or causing a scene. It means refusing with calm, unshakable conviction. You look her in the eyes, and with total confidence, you say, "I don't accept this. I don't play these games. This doesn't work for me." Delivered once without apology, without explanation. And when you say it, she'll feel it. Her eyes widen. She'll pause for a second. You've just shaken her perception of you. The shock, the recalibration in her mind will be noticeable. You've just become something rare, a man who values himself more than her approval. The moment of realization. In that instant, she knows. This man is different. He can't be manipulated like all the others. He doesn't bend just because she's beautiful. And suddenly, you're not just a guy she likes. You're the man she respects. Respect, once lost, can never be regained easily. And when you refuse what every other man tolerates, you plant a seed in her mind, a seed that will grow every time she's around you. She starts to think, "This man doesn't need my approval. He doesn't need me at all." And that thought changes everything. She starts to look at you with a new kind of interest. You become someone she can't figure out, and that makes her want to know you more. Showing your own worth. Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't about rejecting her for the sake of rejection. It's about showing her your worth through your actions, not by constantly seeking hers. It's about becoming the type of man who doesn't need validation from anyone, especially not from her. When you show her that you refuse to tolerate disrespect, that's when she realizes she can't manipulate you. She can't use you to fill her emotional void. You're not just the guy who caters to her needs. You're the man who has his own life. A man who can walk away without hesitation. How this changes the dynamic. This one act changes the power dynamic in the relationship. She will no longer look at you as an option. You become the man she respects. You stop being the man who needs her. And start being the man she can't live without. Now, every time she's around you, she feels something different. The old patterns don't work anymore. Her game, her emotional tests, no longer affect you. You've become the prize, not because of anything you said, but because you've shown her your strength. You didn't need to win her over. You didn't need to chase her. You just needed to be the man who refuses to accept the things no man should. And now, every time she sees you, she thinks, "This man is rare. I can't control him. I can't manipulate him. He's not like the others." That's the moment that flips the script. Once you've refused what every other man accepts, there's another pivotal moment that can flip the script entirely. It's the moment when you show her you don't need her. Now, this doesn't mean you're cold or distant. It means you're whole on your own, and that's the secret she'll never forget. Here's the thing most men miss. Neediness kills attraction. The second a woman feels that you need her, the dynamic changes. She no longer feels the pull of your masculine energy. She starts to see you as something she can control. And when she sees that, the respect begins to fade. Desire starts to diminish. The power shift. Every woman, at some point, will test you. And it's the subtle shift in this dynamic where you show that you don't need her that will change everything. It's in the moments where she can feel your absence and wonders where you are. It happens when you don't drop everything just to be with her. It's when you don't chase after her when she takes longer to reply. You don't make her the center of your universe. You keep your life intact, and that makes you magnetic. Instead of rearranging your plans to fit her schedule, you keep doing what you were doing before. You don't cancel your other plans just because she wants to see you. You don't become emotionally dependent on her. When you show her this once, it creates an undeniable shift. Suddenly, she sees you as a man with his own life, not someone who needs her in order to be complete. You've gone from the man who is desperate for attention to the man who is comfortable in his own space. And that's the energy she craves. The moment she starts to chase. When you create that distance, not through games or manipulation, but simply through self-respect and prioritizing your own life, she begins to feel the pull. The balance shifts. She now has to prove her value to you. She starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? What's so fulfilling in his life that he doesn't need me to feel complete? This curiosity starts to build. She feels the lack of your presence, and suddenly, she starts chasing after you. Her mind begins to wonder, why am I not the center of his attention? Why isn't he constantly trying to please me? This is the moment when you stop being the man who waits for her to decide. You become the man who is pursued, not because you're desperate, but because you know your worth. The paradox of desire. Here's the paradox that most men don't understand. The second she realizes you don't need her, she wants you more. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's the truth. When you stop chasing, when you stop rearranging your life to be there for her, she starts to feel something she can't explain. A longing. Now, you've created the space that she will begin to chase. And this space makes her rethink. It makes her realize that you are not someone who will bend or break for her. You've shown her that you are stronger than any game she can play. When you show her this once, she'll never forget the moment. You've shown her that you don't need her, and that's what makes you irresistible. You've created an environment where she can't control you, and that's what makes her want you even more. The power of non-neediness. Non-neediness is not about being cold. It's about having a life of your own and not sacrificing it for her. It's about being whole and complete on your own. You don't beg for her attention. You don't beg for her affection. Instead, you show her that you are a full man without her, yet you still choose to share your life with her. It's in that balance, the understanding that you can walk away at any moment, that women find the most irresistible quality. When you stop chasing, you stop being predictable. You become the prize, a man she cannot control. Now that you've refused what other men accept and shown her that you don't need her, there's one final shift you can make to completely change how she sees you. And this one is crucial. It's the moment when you stop explaining yourself. Most men, when they're with a woman, feel the need to explain every decision, every emotion, every action. They think, if I just explain, she'll understand me. She'll respect me more. But here's the truth. Explaining yourself doesn't earn you respect. It drains it. Every time you justify your actions, you signal that you need her approval. You're saying, please see me the way I want you to. But that's not powerful. That's performing, and women can feel the weakness in it. When you stop explaining, you start to show her that you don't need her permission to live your life. You show her that your decisions are final, that you don't need her to validate you. That's when the dynamic changes. The shift from pleasing to leading. The day you stop explaining yourself, everything changes. It's not about being rude or dismissive. It's about being assertive in your actions and your decisions. You no longer need to explain why you made certain choices. You just do. Imagine this scenario. You set a boundary, no long explanations, just this doesn't work for me. She challenges you. You don't plead, you don't explain. You simply stand firm. Maybe she gets frustrated. Maybe she gets confused. But beneath that frustration, there's something else, respect. You see, real power is not in convincing someone to see things your way. It's in making your own decisions without needing to explain them. That's the moment you stop being the boy who needs permission and start being the man who operates on his own terms. Creating the space for respect. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop being predictable. And predictability kills desire. You're no longer the man who justifies every action, every choice. You're the man who acts with certainty and confidence. And in that moment, something shifts in her. She no longer sees you as a man who needs to explain himself. She sees you as a man who doesn't need validation from anyone, including her. This shift creates space. It's a space she can't ignore. And the beauty of that space is that it makes her curious. It makes her think, who is this man who doesn't need to explain himself? Curiosity fuels attraction. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment she becomes curious. Curiosity is a powerful force in attraction. It's what makes her want to get closer. It's what makes her want to figure you out, because she can't predict you anymore. Now, she has to start wondering. What does he know about himself that makes him so sure? Why isn't he begging for my approval? Why isn't he chasing after me the way other men do? This curiosity begins to turn into desire. And desire leads to respect. Now, you're not just another guy in her life. You're the man who stands firm, the one who knows his worth without needing to prove it. The power of silence. When you stop explaining yourself, it's not about being distant or cold. It's about showing strength in your silence. When you act decisively, without needing her to agree or validate your actions, you signal to her that you are the one in control of your life. This power of silence is intoxicating. It's the ability to stand by your decisions and let your actions speak for you. It's mysterious, and women are naturally drawn to mystery. Now, when you set a boundary or make a decision, she won't question it. She'll respect it. And she'll respect you even more for not needing her approval. The man who decides. Most men try to win over women by explaining, by justifying, by seeking approval. But real men don't seek approval. They make decisions. They stand firm in those decisions. And they let their actions speak louder than any explanation ever could. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop trying to convince her. You start showing her who you really are, a man who knows himself and doesn't need validation from anyone. The ultimate transformation. When you stop explaining yourself, she'll never see you the same again. You become a man who is confident, self-assured, and unshakable. You no longer need to be understood, you just are. And that makes you irresistible. She'll start to see you as someone she can't figure out, someone she has to respect or lose. And once you've shown her this, she'll never look at you the same way again.